What is poppin', guys? Welcome back to a brand new Premiere Pro tutorial. I know I haven't uploaded in about a week, and that's because I've been working really hard on this music project. I got a new desk for editing to make YouTube videos and all that, so I've been working around the house lately quite a lot. And I also was editing for clients, so I had like really busy days. I just don't want to crank out like really short and, you know, simple tutorials, because of course I choose quality over quantity, because I just want to take my time for videos and not cram everything in one day and have to hurry. But in this video, guys, I'm going to show you the best render settings for Premiere Pro, whether it's 4K, whether it's 1080p, with 60 FPS, 720p, the whole thing. And guys, make sure to stay tuned for next week Monday's Premiere Pro tutorial, because we'll be looking into making proxies in Premiere Pro that can actually like speed up your workflow if you experience any kinds of lags and all that. So it's great to be back, guys. If you guys are excited for this video, make sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's get started with the best render settings for Premiere Pro in 2020 right after the intro. Okay guys, so now that we are in Premiere Pro, this is basically a shot that I have filmed yesterday, and this is a really cool shot with like the sunset and everything for the documentary that we'll be shooting. For this example, I'm going to show you guys the best render settings in how we filmed this. Of course, if you want to have the best render settings, you want to make sure that will match your video quality. So what we're going to do is, if we finished editing our video, we're going to hit File at the top, and then we're going to go down to Export right here. We're going to hit Media. So then at the top, we want to pick our format, which is going to be H.264, and the preset is of course match the source high bitrate, because you don't want to render out a video that's shot in 720p. You don't want to render that out in 4K because it just doesn't make sense. You want to make sure that it is nice and matched. So then what we're going to do is we're going to click on output name, which is going to allow us to change the name and the location where we will save the rendered file. So let's pick our desktop for now, and let's just call this render test, like that. So then we're going to hit save, and then at the bottom it says basic video settings. Now if we uncheck this one, we are actually able to change up our resolution. Now if you want to render out your video in the same settings as you shot the video, you want to click on match source, and now it is going to be locked into 1920 by 1080. The frame rate is 25 because we didn't film this shot in 60 FPS or anything like that. And at the bottom it is all grayed out because that means it is matched. And then at the bottom you can say, for example, the maximum bitrate will be a lot higher, and you want to put the bitrate encoding to VBR 1 pass. So now for good to go, what you can do is you can hit, of course, export. So how long it takes depends of course on how heavy the footage is and how long the footage is. Have you applied any color grading onto it? That makes the footage really heavy, because this is just a raw unedited file. There are no effects applied onto it, so that's because it is actually taking just a couple seconds to export. Okay, so now that the file has exported, it is obviously on our desktop. But what I want to mention, guys, is if you need color grading LUTs, for example, like, you know, certain LUT filters you want to apply onto your video, right now I have my own LUT pack for sale. You can find the link down in the description. It is really simple. You can just pick it up for just $1. It is really cool that you have like 20 different presets you can choose from. Just go to, for example, the basic color correction tab. You want to click on input LUTs, and then you can of course click on browse, and that's the only thing you need to do. If you pick it up, you will automatically get the instant download of my LUT pack. You can just extract it with WinRAR or WinZip onto your computer, and then you can just hit browse, and then you need to pick the .cube files, of course, and then it will be applied directly onto your clip, like that, for example. So guys, it's a really quick video, but there's nothing more to it. I don't want to bore you guys with like a 10-minute video about the best render settings, but I do want to mention that if you want to render out, for example, like in 4K, you want to basically Google, for example, the resolution of a 4K video. But of course, if you have shot a video in 4K which is, I think, on top of my head, it was, I think, 4096 by 2160. I'm not too sure if I'm like completely correct, but you just want to make sure that it will match always the output source, so you will automatically get the best render settings. Because like I mentioned before, if you shot a video that's quite pixelated in 720p, it's not going to remove the pixels and make it really perfect if you export it in a higher quality than you have shot the video, because it doesn't really make sense. So guys, it is really simple. Make sure to also grab my LUT filter pack in the description down below. You can find the first link there, and that's basically how simple it is. with making videos and make sure that the quality is as high as possible. And obviously, like I've mentioned in the intro, guys, next week Monday we'll be talking about making proxies, how you can actually like speed up your workflow and just avoid like dropping frames in your previews in Premiere Pro. So thanks a lot for the continued support, guys, as always, and I'll see you guys obviously in Wednesday's video.